Welcome back, you lovely lot, and welcome to another Etsy store review. Now this store is really interesting. It's a print on demand store. It's got no sales at all, over 50 items. Really interesting. There's some different things I want to point out to you today in this critique. And as always, if you want a store review, all you got to do is drop your Etsy store name in the comments and I will look through it. And if it's appropriate, don't send me a store if you've got 10,000 sales. That's not going to be very helpful for people. Although one day I might do a high selling store just for a laugh. But yeah, put your store into my comments, and then if it's appropriate, I'll take a note of it for a future review. Now, let's get into this store. There's some interesting things to see here. Let's go. Welcome to today's store review, and today it's Classic Cap Collective. So we're dealing with caps here, and in particular we are dealing with print on demand caps. If you go to the bottom of any store, you can see production partners here to see if it's POD, and this store is POD. So what's the first thing we always do? Any store review worth any salt at all, the first thing you do is check how many items the store's got, how many sales it's got, which is 0, 84 items, and most important of all, when the store opened. So the store actually opened this year, so it's at least January the 1st this year that the store opened. Let's get into a bit more detail, shall we, and see when the listings in this store started. To do that, order the listings by most recent, then go down to the bottom, click on page 3, go to the last listing, this one here, click on it, and then go down to the bottom and you'll get a listing date here, 6th of February. So now we immediately know that this store has listed 84 items since the 6th of February. So as you all know, and I tell you all till I'm blue in the face, list slowly and steadily into your store. This is too fast. This is way too fast. So we've got 84 items. That's well over one item a day, every day into the store. And I would say these listings have probably been listed in batches. So if you click on each listing, let's have a look actually. Let's do this together. Let's see what the date is. So this one was February the 6th. Let's have a look at this one. When was it listed? February the 6th, you see? So immediately we find out that this store has been listing multiple items per day. And maybe there'll be gaps between the days, and then another 5 listings will be put in. So this is terrible, absolutely terrible for growing a successful Etsy store. So the listing speed is the first thing that's the problem here, and will need looking at. It's quite a difficult situation actually. I'm going to come back to what I think this store should do, but let's keep going with what's wrong with the existing store, and then I'll tell you at the end what I feel this store should do ultimately. So first of all, listing speed, too fast, way too quick. Second, shop setup. So you need to set up your shops correctly, guys. So here, the seller icon on the right hand side, you see this icon? That's your seller icon. It's blank. There's no one there. There's the blank man with a sort of grey slug on his head or something. It's just terrible. So that needs filling in. There's no shop announcement. There is nothing here in the announcement section to tell the world what the store sells. Your shop announcement is an expansion of your shop title here, which is a one-liner of what you do. Shop announcement should have 2 things. It should have what you do for your business in more detail, and upcoming announcements, updates and sales and so on for your store, so that people can find out what's going on in your store. That needs to go here, and it's completely missing. Let's scroll down to the bottom. The other part that pretty much every seller I see get wrong is this: your about page. Your about page has 3 brand components: text, photos and video. The further you push into your store, the further you go, the more sales you make, the stronger your brand needs to be. The about page, it's free advertising space. Get into it, get your text, your photos and video done for your brand here. So that definitely needs to be upgraded. Okay, so now we're going to get to a point that honestly everybody I speak to gets wrong. It's photography and video. So if I just sort of hover here on these 12 listings, what do you think the problem is? These 12 mock-ups here, what can you see that's the problem? There's multiple problems, but the main problem here. Can you see it? What the problem is? So first thing, main problem, designs are too far away from the camera. They're way too far away. You can't read what these designs are. Secondly, these are embroidered caps. So the design brightness or vibrancy is so much lower. It's so hard to see them. Even on this one here, Good Vibes with the flowers, right? It's still difficult to see. And these, look at the distance. You can't even read these. I have to actually go in, like my eyesight's terrible. I have to go in and say, right, okay, make every day Earth Day. Okay, all right, I can read it if I squint and get close to the screen. But you can't see it. This one here, no idea what that is. I think it's a flower or a mushroom or something. Yeah, flower, purple flower. What kind of purple flower? Who knows? It's a purple flower. But you can't see it. So this is immediately going to cost you clicks and cost you conversion, because nobody is going to be clicking on these items because they just can't see them. That's a little bit better. You can see the difference right here. You can see the item clearer, the quote much clearer. That's better. Which brings me on to the next problem that's causing this store not to sell. The designs in here are literally so generic and so wide in terms of what's going on. We've got a little dinosaur. We've got sort of a hippie good vibes party thing going on here. We've got something to do with geologists. We've got some spiritual live in the moment going on here. Coming down here, we've got a mama cap. We've got another geologist thing here. We've got some Italian, I think, Via dell'Amore, something to do with love. This one, right, everybody, please listen to me. This, okay? You've got to, everyone who's got a smiley face listing in their Etsy store, you've got to get rid of it. This is going to cost you money in legal fees if you get caught selling smiley face gear. So the owner of this store, get rid of this listing today. I want to see it gone, because the guy who owns the copyright, he's about 72 years old, lives in France, and no, he's not 72 years old. He got the copyright in 1972. And he's going around and enforcing the copyright. So you've got to get rid of this immediately. And anyone who has smiley face stuff, get rid of it. So this is the problem. It's so generic and so all over the place. There's another smiley face. That will have to go. We've got to pick a theme for this store. So when we're picking a theme, well, let's remember who's buying caps and what they're doing. So the first thing to remember is that the primary buying range in terms of age on Etsy is 25 to 45. 83% of the customers are women, but the women buy for their men and they buy for themselves. So what you want to see is his and her caps, mother and son, father and son fishing, football, sport, basketball, all the things that families do and wear caps to. Okay, you see, you've got to connect with the marketplace. It's no good coming in and selling caps and saying, well, okay, well, I'm going to do sort of a kiddies dinosaur cap, which is quite cute, by the way. And then we're doing geologists, and then we're doing mums, and then we're doing Italian, and then we're doing whatever, peace and spiritualism. There's absolutely no cohesion. There's no flow. There's no meaning here. The store is all over the place. So think who's buying the caps. Start to think in ways that make sense for your customers to start purchasing in bulk, en masse. So it's mums, it's dads, it's kids, it's sport, it's weekends away, it's vacations, it's holidays. Start getting into all that and sort the mock-ups out so that they look good. And then you're going to start to make some sales, as long as the designs are good. I can't stress it enough. Shall we talk about design a minute? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at something like this design. So this Good Vibes, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Unfortunately, because it's embroidered, you can't see it. When we go back out to the store, it's so difficult to see. That one's not bad. Let's have a look at something else. This one, it's so basic and been done so many times. Mama is on everything. And this is just too basic. We need to do more than this. This design is too basic. Let's have a look at another one. So this one here, this is a problem. The flower, you can't see it. No one's going to buy this because you cannot see the flower. It's embroidered. And when we do embroidery, we have to remember the vibrancy of the design is reduced. This is completely taken away. No one's going to buy that. So do you see the problem we've got here? You've got to work with design and things that work with embroidery, and not all designs work with embroidery. These flowers just don't work. You've got to get into more striking color contrasts, like black and white, for example, which is easier to see. This is good. That's clearer to see. You see? Okay, so one more point for this store to get more sales. So all of that, do all that, the store will make more sales. Now do this and you will definitely make more sales. You've got to offer personalization in this store. Okay, guys, I've told you this so many times. I'll say it again. If you offer decent personalization in your store, you can expect 20 to 30% more sales. So what I mean by that is a decent number of products that can be personalized. You can't just put one product in and expect to get 20 to 30% more sales. No, it doesn't work like that. It's got to be proportionate to the inventory in your store. So if you've got 100 items, it would be good, if you can do personalization, have 20 to 30 available for personalization. That means you start to hit and target all the customers for Christmases, birthdays, anniversaries, you name it. Personalization caters for it. So this store has tons of work to do. It needs the rest of this year. It needs to be worked on. I hope whoever owns this store has listened to this review. And two more things. One, if you want a store review like this, I get straight to the point. No BS, no information that's not going to help you. I see so many YouTube review videos that are absolute wastes of time. They're not focusing in on the problems. If you want a decent review, put your shop name in the comments and I'll get back to you. And lastly, don't guess. If you want to work with me, book in on the links in my description. If you need help with your Etsy store, that's what I'm here for. I've been doing this 10 years. I help people out and help people grow and make their Etsy stores successful. So I look forward to seeing you in the comments and I will catch you in the next review. Bye-bye.